What if you had a great idea for a business, a service, or perhaps even an invention that could potentially fill a niche in a market, earn money, and set you up for a rewarding career? But to turn an idea for a business into a tangible and viable reality, you would have to become your own boss. Would you have the drive, perseverance, and motivation? And would your idea be strong enough to succeed in a competitive marketplace? Venturing out into the world of self-employment can be a challenging but rewarding career option. David Ruby Todd, a young entrepreneur, started his own go-kart graphics business, Kart David, at the age of 16.
Well, we specialise in producing graphics for the go-karts. We rebrand race teams and we also do single kind of custom graphic kits for individual race drivers across the UK and internationally, as far as America and Australia.
David continues to run his enterprise from home. An enterprise is a term that typically describes a bold business venture or an initiative that provides a service to the community. To boldly start a business at such a young age, David demonstrated enterprising qualities. Meet Olive Bushell, a similarly enterprising 19-year-old. Olive has recently graduated from business college and has been thinking seriously about her potential career path.
I've always had this idea that I'd love to work for myself. You know, work my own hours from home. Basically be my own boss. And I've saved up a fair bit of money from working part-time at a local takeaway shop throughout school. I know a bit about the logistics of setting up a business from my course, but I guess the question is, what sort of business should I start up? What would be a viable enterprise that could lead to paid employment? I love surfing the internet. I spend heaps of time online, often aimlessly searching information forums. So I thought to myself, what if I could do something constructive with this? What if I could make money out of the information I'm consuming? So I did some research and I found out about media monitoring, where companies pay to find out how they're represented in the media. So I came up with the idea of online media monitoring, where I'd manually collate the information about consumer feedback on a specific product or company. Online forums are where you get very honest, unedited feedback about the way people feel about things. I believe that different companies could really benefit from people's opinions. So that's where the idea of Bushell research started.
Starting an enterprise is not limited by age, and people from all walks of life can potentially start an enterprise. An enterprise is a bold business venture or an initiative that provides a service for the community. Self-employment can be a viable career option. Enterprises begin with an idea, with the goal of successfully realising the idea. Starting an enterprise is not limited by age or previous experience. With the increasing popularity of portable multimedia devices, a boom has occurred in young entrepreneurs creating and releasing applications for iPhones and the like. An entrepreneur is a person who takes a risk in creating and developing a commercial enterprise. Mark Edwards is the founder of Bajango, a successful software development company operated from Mark's home office.
At Bajango we make Mac, iPhone and iPad software. We started on the Mac in 2005. And then as the opportunities arose, we moved into iPhone and iPad software. We've got a pretty wide range of software that we've written. Most of it's just stuff we wanted ourselves. There's all kinds of statistics monitoring, which is something we're interested in. And there's games as well as a few other little utilities and productivity tools that we kind of use daily. So that's why I built them. It's purely for us. I guess it's just all based on the assumption that if we want it, then maybe someone else will.
Mark created his business from his passion. His drive and ambition stems from doing what he enjoys and finds useful. Similarly, David from Kart David has a personal interest in his respective field of work.
When I was 10 years old, I started karting, and since then I took an interest in the aesthetics and the design of the graphics. Well, I just love motorsport. I've been in and around motorsport for all my life. And also the whole idea of owning my own business really appeals to me. My dad owns his own business and kind of runs in the family, and I just love the responsibility and that running your own business gives you.
Becoming an entrepreneur can be a daunting task, and taking a leap of faith into an unknown market can be risky. Before developing her business idea, Olive Bushell decides to seek advice and assistance from a broad range of business professionals.
Hi, this is Olive Bushell speaking. Yeah, I was just wondering if you had a moment to spare. Great, I'm looking at starting up my own business and I just wanted to grab some advice. So I picked up the phone and started making calls. I spoke to career advisors, government agencies, had meetings with business owners, basically anyone who could potentially help me. The advice I received really gave me the confidence to get things started. I've also made some valuable contacts in the media monitoring industry through networking. The people I spoke to all advised me to set up a business plan. The business plan outlines your business's proposition in detail, stating why I think my idea will work, what resources are involved in getting it up and off the ground, and the steps involved in actually making the business successful. This helped me set definitive, achievable goals and gave me a direction for what I needed to do to get things moving.
Developing a business plan is an important tool for any young entrepreneur, especially before investing valuable time and resources. A business plan helps provide a foundation where goals and the relevant steps to achieve them are conceptually outlined. Research also plays an important role in the initial development of any enterprise.
So I guess with any new project we start, we certainly do a whole range of research to see if it's something that we want to get into, because it's such a massive undertaking, especially for us. Obviously, we have to be very careful that we don't do something that keeps us busy for several months and then doesn't necessarily work at the end of it. That could be the end of us.
Before investing time and money on a new enterprise, an entrepreneur must assess the existing marketplace and any potential competitors. Finding a niche or a unique position in the market is often the key to success.
The three main things that we look at before starting a new project are the competition, if we feel we can compete, and where the market's leading. If we feel this is something that's going to be viable in 12, 18, 24 months and beyond, and our gut feeling, if we really think this is something that we want to be involved in, is it a difficult and fun problem to solve?
After I did my business plan, it really forced me to look at my potential competitors in detail. I noticed there were already quite a few companies out there that did media monitoring of online content. I really wanted to make my proposition different, so I came up with the idea of a more personalised, manual approach towards media monitoring. I did some research with the marketing departments of some companies and found that my proposition was a potentially interesting one to them. So yeah, now I'm more confident that I have a good position in the market.
David Ruby Todd from Cart David has developed a quick turnaround for his customers, giving him a valuable edge on his competitors.
It takes about 3 to 5 days. This is how we try and beat our competitors. The customer will ring up and set a design brief or via email, and we will get a design to them, usually that day or the next day, depending on what sort of time. And then once the design is confirmed, the print time is very quick and it will be sent out to them within a day or so. So the customer will receive the goods within 3 to 5 days.
An entrepreneur is an individual who creates and launches a commercial enterprise. It is common for entrepreneurs to start an enterprise based on what they enjoy. Entrepreneurs are often skilled at finding a unique niche or position in the market. Before investing time and resources, it's important to seek advice and to create a business plan. After researching and preparing, an entrepreneur must take a leap of faith to start an enterprise. There can be a high level of risk involved, with time and money being the two main resources invested.
I have taken large risks. When we first set it up, I was only 16, 17, and we had to spend about £10,000 on the initial machinery, which was at that time a lot of money, and of course you don't know if the product's actually going to sell. Since then we've kind of had a stable, healthy kind of business, so the new machinery is, it's going to pay for itself. We're going to sell the product, so that's less of a risk, I suppose.
Taking the risk to launch your own business can potentially pay off. Adam Sen is a leading Melbourne-based fashion designer who started his label whilst at fashion school. His garments have subsequently developed a loyal following, with local celebrities parading them at leading Melbourne fashion events.
My name's Adam Sen. I work for one of my own brands called Sen, and also Medium Raw, which is an online accessories brand, but I'm looking at expanding it into a ready-to-wear brand too. My label Sen is a women's cocktail slash workwear brand. I'm basically working with a lot of blacks and whites. It's very slender, it's very slim-fitting kind of label. I'm marketing it out to a lot of small boutiques and also to my existing clientele that I'm working with.
Ring.
It has been 3 weeks since Olive Bushell started her online media monitoring business, and things have been quiet. So quiet that Olive is getting worried. She has yet to secure any contracts and is questioning whether or not setting up her own business was a good idea.
I'm doing my best to remain positive, but it's been challenging. I've sent tons of emails and made heaps of calls, targeting businesses I believe could benefit from the service I'm offering. So I have to remember what those business owners told me. Perseverance always came up. I've actually printed it out and put it on the wall behind my computer. The lack of response has forced me to think of creative ways to advertise the business. So I came up with the idea of an obligation-free trial of what I can offer as a business. I've also started targeting specific industries instead of random businesses. So I'll just keep working hard, cross my fingers, and hopefully it'll work out for me.
When starting an enterprise, it can initially be difficult to attract interest. Starting small and keeping the business goals focused, manageable and achievable can be helpful.
The applications we're building are generally, we don't try to take on projects that are too big for our team, and I think that's very important. In fact, I think it's important to start with a concept that's incredibly focused and small, especially for us, because there's always going to be complications and it will always grow. And that's something that's been consistent across everything we've done.
To ensure an idea is translated into a viable enterprise, entrepreneurs often come up with innovative means to promote their proposition. David Ruby Todd from Kart David can often be found at go-kart track meets, proactively promoting his business.
The best ways of promoting a business we found is track presence. Being at the racetrack, there's nothing that beats that really. I have some sponsored drivers who are in the big national series on television and stuff, and they create a lot of brand awareness. But I also travel to tracks to speak to customers, to make people aware of the brand and the product we offer.
After a seemingly endless amount of phone calls and emails, Olive has finally secured a personal meeting with the marketing manager of a leading record company. After being in the boardroom for over an hour, Olive emerges.
So I've just finished a meeting. Yay me! I got my first contract for Bushell Research. It was one of the companies that I offered the free trial to. They valued my work so much, they offered me a 6-month contract. I've got heaps of work to do, so I've got to go. Bye.
There is risk involved in starting a new enterprise, with time and money being the 2 main resources invested. Risk can be managed by starting with small, realistic goals, keeping them manageable and achievable. An entrepreneur must look into creative ways to advertise and promote their enterprise. After putting in the hard work to get an enterprise off the ground, businesses can potentially take on a life of their own, growing rapidly. Business owners must account for growth, adjusting their business accordingly.
It takes a while. We took a long time to set up the website, and it took quite a while to get some orders in, but it's surprising how quickly it spreads word of mouth. Now it's a lot busier. It's grown quite rapidly over the last year. We've seen the karting market grow by about 15% a year actually. So our turnover's gone up well, and get quite a few orders per day, usually 5 or 6. So it's going well.
Just give me a second.
We caught up with Olive 6 months after she set up her online media monitoring business.
All there, ready and set to go. Well, when I last spoke to you, I'd just won over my first contract, but through positive word of mouth and all the calls I made, I've managed to win over an additional 6 contracts in the past 6 months.
Great, thanks for your business, Jane.
I can't tell you how happy and relieved I am that all the hard work's starting to pay off. It's really a dream come true to be able to work from home doing what I love. And the business has grown so rapidly, so I'm actually looking at taking on a part-timer to help with the increasing workload. But don't worry, I'm not taking that for granted. I know I'm going to have to work harder than ever to keep up with my clients' expectations and keep the business consistent.
So when an enterprise is up and running, how do you measure success?
Success is pretty difficult. It's almost a gut feeling. I mean, we just really want a lot of people using and liking our apps. That's really when it comes down to. That's it. Putting a number on that is more difficult. You know, it's really just a gut feeling. At the end of the project, do you feel like the effort was justified in the feedback we've received? Yes or no. That's it.
A young entrepreneur must draw upon a broad range of skills to develop and maintain a successful enterprise.
It's probably always a good thing if there's more than just a daily paycheck involved. If the person doing the work actually has some kind of stake in the entire project, that's more likely for them to be thinking bigger and not necessarily worrying about smaller details, but really self-motivating and pushing their own themselves right to the limit of what they can do.
With the success of Olive's business increasing, we asked her what advice she would give to aspiring young entrepreneurs.
Some research. Olive speaking. Well, first things first. Be bold. Come up with a unique idea or approach that'll give you an edge. Do the research. Look at your potential competitors and find out if there will be a need for your proposition. Seek advice, assistance and network with people in related industries. You'll be amazed about how much you can learn from others. Establish a detailed business plan. Make sure you have the time, money and resources. Start small to minimise risk and ensure you can realistically achieve your goals. Be proactive and creative in developing and promoting your enterprise. Learn from your mistakes and keep an open mind. Put in the hard work, embrace the challenges and give time for your enterprise to grow and develop. Stay motivated and determined. Being your own boss, you'll need to be self-disciplined in achieving the goals that you set out to achieve. And finally, enjoy what you do. After all the hard work, the accomplishment and the achievement will be a great reward.